Today our topic is cost of production. We started our producer behavior with the theory of firm. What is a firm? Firm which converts inputs into output. Inputs are combined in the firm and what is produced? The output is produced. So here, this is the cost side of the firm. What it is? The cost side. What are the inputs? They are the factors of production which are employed by the firm in order to produce output or goods and services. Clear? So on this side, the firm is going to incur the cost of production, and here it receives revenue after the sale of the product. Clear? So output side, when this output is sold out, what firm will receive? The revenue. And the difference between total revenue and total cost, that will be the profit of the firm. So firm will try to maximize its profit. Clear? We will see later on what is the profit maximizing level of output. But right now we are going to study what is meant by the cost of production of the firm when it is producing the goods and services. So how can we define cost of production? Cost means what? It is expenditure of the production of goods and services. The monetary expenditure, you can see. Cost means expenditures on the production of goods and services. On the production of goods and services. Whatever the firm is producing, whether it is producing goods or services, it has to incur the cost of production. Follow my point? So in case of cost of production, we can have different types. Okay? Before starting those types of production, I want to make you clear the difference between an accountant's cost of production and an economist's cost of production. So what is the accountant's cost of production? Accountant's cost of production. And versus we can see economist's cost of production. Can you find a difference between these two costs? Actually, accountant is entering those expenditures which are paid in terms of money in order to produce the goods. For example, the firm has paid the raw material cost, the rent of the building, transportation cost. So these are paid by the firm in order to produce the goods and services. That is the accountant cost. He is debiting or crediting whatever the amount according to accounting subject. So that is the accountant's cost of production. What is economist's cost of production? He or she measures cost in real terms, real cost, in terms of opportunity cost. Do you remember opportunity cost? What it is? The next best alternative which is found for the sake of our present study. And in our very first lesson of economics, we studied what is meant by this opportunity cost. Follow my point or not? Now, accountant is not considering the opportunity cost of the factors of production which are used in the production process. How can we see the opportunity cost? For example, the entrepreneur, he has given his own capital to the business. If it has to be borrowed from the bank, the entrepreneur or firm has to incur interest cost on that. So when they have provided finance from their own savings, so those savings are having opportunity cost. So economist will enter that opportunity cost of capital which is provided by the owner himself into the business. He hasn't borrowed because that capital is having opportunity cost. So on the same line, when a person has provided a piece of land to his own business, so that land is also having the rent sacrificed. If he would have given it to another business, so he would be earning a rent from that use of piece of land. So he has sacrificed that amount of rent for the sake of his own business activity. So economists will enter that rent as an opportunity cost of this cost of production. And same is the case, for example, I am teaching over here, I am drawing a salary from this institution. So when I start my own business venture, so what happens? This will be my opportunity cost to give time to my own business. So I will ask my business or my the firm, okay, this is the opportunity cost I am sacrificing for the sake of this business activity. You have to pay me this type of wage rate or salary. So every factor of production is having what? Opportunity cost. So those opportunity cost of each factor of production will be considered by an economist, not by the accountant. Clear my point? What I am trying to say? Accountant is not measuring cost of production in terms of opportunity cost, rather he only measures in terms of money which he is paying for the cost of production or whatever the expenditure is incurred by the firm in order to produce the goods and services. Whereas economist is measuring the real cost of production in terms of opportunity cost. So what do you think? The profits which are measured by an accountant will be higher than the profits which are measured by an economist, because he is including many other opportunity costs in the cost of production. So when he is showing the profit that is in a higher amount, then government will have more corporate tax on that profit. Whereas the economist, he is taking all the factors of production in the form of opportunity cost, so his profit level declared will be lower than accountant, and government will be taking less amount of tax revenue from this. Clear? So many times we find one of the MCQ multiple choice question in our paper 3, that is about the difference between accountant's cost and economist's cost. Sometimes they ask us, what is the difference of the profit between accountant's profit and economist's profit? A table is given where two of the costs they will be shown as opportunity cost. So we will take that difference, which is not measured by an accountant, but it is measured by the economist. So we have to see how these two persons are having difference in the measurement of their cost of production. Alright. Now come towards the other types of cost of production. This is the difference between accountant's cost and economist's cost. Now, how many types of cost are there? Types of cost. Types of cost of production. How many are there? You might have done in your previous level of education that there is going to be a fixed cost. It is also called indirect cost, a sunk cost. Sunk cost means once it is paid, it cannot be recovered. It is paid, like if a firm has constructed its own building to produce the goods, so whatever the cost it has paid for that construction of building, it is sunk cost. It is independent of the level of output produced. I will explain them one by one. The second cost of production is variable cost. It is also called direct cost of production. It is directly involved in the production. It will be the raw material and labor cost. And the third cost of production is total cost of production. And the fourth one, that is average total cost. Average total cost, ATC. Okay. And the fifth one, that is average fixed cost. And sixth one, Definitely average variable cost. And what is the last one? That is marginal cost. What it is? The marginal cost, which is very important in the decision making process of the firm, where the profit will be maximized. So these are the different costs of production. We are going to study one by one out of them. So first cost, I said, that is fixed cost of production. It is independent of the level of output produced. Okay? It is independent of the level of output produced. Either we produce 0 level of output or 1000 or then 10,000, that is not going to change. It will remain same. Its example is rent paid for the building. For example, we are having this building on rent in order to provide education to the student. Even there are 100 students, no student, or 1000 student, 2000 student, the rent of the building is not going to change for a specific period of time. Clear? So rent is an example of fixed cost. How to show it? By using a diagram. So this is the fixed cost of production. Even at 0 level it is same. Even we produce more output, it is not going to change. So fixed cost of production, that is independent of the level of output produced. Clear or not? Now, what is meant by variable cost of production? What is variable cost of production? This is the variable cost. So variable cost, as its name is showing us, it varies with the level of output. It is dependent cost. Clear? It is dependent cost, so it varies with the level of output. What can be the example? With the level of output. For example, you can see raw material cost. If firm is not producing even a single unit, so it is not going to use any of the raw material or the labor wages. If firm is going to produce output, then they are going to hire workers. If no output is produced, no worker is hired. Follow? So variable cost of production, that is the raw material cost, or you can say the labor cost. When we are going to produce output, we are going to hire the workers. So this can be the shape of variable cost. We have two different shapes. This is what you have studied in your previous levels, that it is constantly growing as the output is changing. Like for the first 100 units, it is going to be 1000. For the next 100, like 200 units, it is now 2000. Do you think it is having constant rate of growth with the level of output? It is not the case, because we studied the law of diminishing returns. Every worker, every variable factor is not having the same level of productivity. Some workers, they are having more productivity, so their cost of production of the firm will be lower as compared to those who are less productive. So we find the variable cost of production, it's shaped like this. Those who are studying mathematics, they can see this is a shape of cubic function. What it is? Here it becomes a little bit flatter and then it starts rising. Alright. So we have different productivity when diminishing returns start in the production process. It is becoming steeply rising, and in between that it has a little bit flatter part. So we say variable cost of production that varies with the level of output. Every worker is having different productivity level, therefore variable cost also varies with the productivity. For every extra worker may be adding less to the total product. So we have this shape of variable cost of production instead of this constant upward sloping. Clear? It is also upward sloping, but it is not constant. It has variations in the changes in the variable cost of production when output changes. Okay. Now, what is the total cost of production? How can we write the total cost of production? I use this area. What is the total cost of production? How can we define it? This is sum of fixed cost and variable cost. This is what total cost. It is sum of fixed cost and variable cost of production. In simple words, whatever the rent is paid in the form of fixed cost, whatever the raw material cost, labor cost and transportation cost, electricity charges, they are incurred by the firm, so that is a variable cost. When we add them up, we get what? The total cost of production. You have studied this shape of total cost in your O levels or in your business studies. This is a total cost of production. This part is showing us what the fixed cost, like this is the fixed cost, and in between total and fixed cost, this is going to be the variable cost, and when we measure it on this side, this is giving us a figure of total cost of production. So this is the shape of total cost and it is constantly growing. Does it show with a constant rate? No. So we have the shape of total cost of production like this. What it is? This is the total cost. Okay? Here, if I draw like this is the variable cost, and in between these two, this is the fixed cost, and here I am drawing the variable cost, so in between is what? The fixed cost. So I have shown these two figures, diagrams, because sometimes there is going to be the multiple choice question about the shape of variable cost and total cost. Okay. These costs, when we are studying that fixed cost and variable cost, both are present in a certain time period. That time period is called what? Short run. During short run, some factors of production are fixed, whereas others are variable factors. So during short run, we have both fixed and variable cost in our total cost of production. But in long run, do we have any fixed cost? No. All the factors of production will become variable. So during long run, these are what? Short run costs. So during the long run, what is going to happen? Our total cost and variable cost, they start from zero. This is variable cost and that's equal to the total cost. That starts from zero over here. So during long run, we find there is no fixed factor of production. That's why we have the variable cost of production that's equal to the total cost. So this is the main difference. When it starts from here, that at zero we find the total cost is positive value. So this distance is showing us what the fixed cost which is present. And when if we start from zero, we are having no fixed factor. So variable cost will become the total cost of production. Follow my point? Should I proceed further for the average cost and other values? Okay. Thank you. For average